I got into the whole online space when I was 12, driven over 25 million in organic revenue.
What's your SEO sauce?
And I structured everything in a way that it makes it as much of a no-brainer for them. I'm not turning on my phone is because I don't want to overwhelm my brain with all the dopamine, right? Because the more dopamine you have, the more you want to chase it.
Maybe I just get a drop in traffic and I'll be like, Benjamin. Backlinks was a strategy.
I'm not trying to be like the next, I don't know, Neil Patel or something that's just white hat. Niche edits, PBNs, and 301s. Those three have worked the best for me.
Benjamin, welcome to the show. How are you, man?
Thanks for having me, man. I'm good.
Good. So for the people who don't know, like Benjamin, I'd say like he's the next e-commerce SEO tycoon. I see his posts on Facebook, LinkedIn, basically everywhere. And I think you're really popping up. And for the people who don't know you, would you like to introduce yourself, brother?
Yeah, sure, man. First of all, yeah, thanks again for having me on. I'm pretty much like mainly active in the e-comm SEO space. I own GoldenWeb, as well as a few other online businesses, mainly scaled and operated through SEO. But I would say kind of the main focus right now for me is GoldenWeb. It's an SEO agency specializing in scaling Shopify brands through organic traffic. And in the past 2 years, we've driven over 25 million in organic revenue.
Wow. Beautiful. I mean, 25 million in organic revenue for the customers. It might be very enticing for them to just keep using your services. So it's like a yearly subscription or monthly? What do you do with your clients?
Yeah, we don't really have any contracts in place. It's just pretty much like we have a very enticing offer, I would say. Pretty much like we start always with a full audit, and then typically just based off of that, off of the implementations, we leave the organic traffic and sales by like 30 to 40% because everything's based around the quick wins, right? So, I mean, I structured everything in a way that it makes it as much of a no-brainer for them. It's like, why would I not say yes to this, right? That's kind of how I try to put it all together. So that's kind of the first thing that we do for the client. And that's pretty much just to build the relationship for them, because, you know, like if you're paying someone, you want to get results back, and results, in my opinion, is the best way to establish a great relationship in business. And after that, we just mainly have the SEO growth service, which we do month after month. And that's been very successful as well.
Lovely. And what would you say, like, now that I know you build a brand around GoldenWeb and it's getting very popular amongst the e-commerce SEO space. And yeah, what was your first steps to SEO? How did you discover? How did you get in? Like,
yeah. So, like, I'll just kind of start with at the beginning. I mean, I got into the whole online space when I was 12, right? So
no way.
I started on YouTube. Yeah.
That's
so
way
I was
younger than me.
this.
I was 14 when I got into it.
Man, we all started super young, but man, like, I was watching these YouTubers getting phones for review, like gadgets, like companies were just sending them stuff to review for free. And like, I was just a kid living in Slovenia. Like that blew my mind, you know. It's like
small town.
Companies are literally sending a phone worth 1 or 2K, our laptops, everything like that, to people just to make a video. And that like blew my mind. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Like, no question about it. So started making these YouTube videos. By the time when I was like 14, 15, I think, I was sponsored by pretty much every phone carrier in Slovenia. Made over 1,000 videos, I think 25 million views in total, 25, 30 million views in total, something like that till now. Then I just wanted to create a website for all these videos that I had, right, to organize it. Went on YouTube once again, learned how to create a website, made a WordPress website for myself. And then that kind of led me into the web design agency space. And I started creating websites for these like local businesses in Slovenia. Then I realized that all these businesses that wanted a website, they really wanted leads. They just didn't know that they wanted leads, right? Yeah. So then I got into Google Ads, and it was pretty smooth transition over to SEO, because it's like, why am I paying Google for all these clicks if I could just get them for free? Especially with local SEO, because it's pretty easy. At least it was back then in Slovenia, especially. Yeah. After that, like I went to, I was just kind of in the SEO community, met a good friend of mine, Igor Bajsic. He was also like one of the people that really got me into the SEO community, SEO space. Went to Chiang Mai SEO, learned about affiliates there. Yeah, went there, kind of learned a bit more about the affiliate space, started ranking my own sites like for affiliate, still own them today. And then kind of went from like offering local SEO services just in Slovenia to kind of offering the SEO services for other affiliate websites and fixing those up. But then I kind of started thinking like, why am I serving affiliates if affiliates are usually just serving like other e-commerce brands? So it was just a very kind of natural kind of transition to e-commerce. And from there, I just kind of found kind of the niche positioning at kind of with Shopify.
And how old were you? How old were you? From 12 to?
Well, we kind of transitioned to Shopify, I would say like 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Okay.
So yeah, I'm 23 now, turning 24.
So okay, sweet. So it's been a decade you've been in this space.
Yeah, been a decade.
Wow, beautiful. And what was the key moment when you realized, okay, this is it, GoldenWeb, I'm going to focus on this. I'm just going to dominate the e-comm SEO niche category and be the expert in it? What were the key moments?
I would say just like I always wanted to maximize the value that I'm providing, right? And okay, I was providing value with web design, with the Google Ads, with the local SEO, but I always wanted to provide more value. So like how could I position myself in a way that what I was doing, because I'm still doing pretty much the same thing that I was doing before. Sure, we kind of went through a few iterations and changes of strategy, but I just wanted to provide the maximum value to businesses. And with e-commerce and also some like SaaS and info products, basically high ticket kind of products. Those seem to be the bread and butter, just because we're able to like generate so much revenue just from a single click, right?
Right. I mean, I love the e-com space. Like just a few months ago, there's a big company in the US and they saw my YouTube videos and they contacted me and they offered me a big chunk of equity just for doing SEO. And nice. Last month we did like multiple six figures and I was like, wow, you do changes here, you do changes here, and it's more easier than local SEO.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the return is much higher, right? Of course, it's more competitive as well, I would say, but like the return is just much higher compared to local SEO where you're getting paid, I don't know, $50, $100 per lead or something like that, whatever you might be doing, right? Sure, if you're actually doing the service, like high ticket local services as well, but then again, you're still limited by the reach, right? Because a service business will just be in a city, in a town, whatever it might be, and you're kind of limited by how many people you can serve. Versus with an e-commerce business or like info products or SaaS, you can literally reach anyone on the planet, right? And profit. So that's
what I've noticed is like all the SEOs who playing this e-com game, like I think it's very, very less competitive if done right than the local ones. Like if you're going for an SEO agency in New York, right? It's a bit, you need to do a lot to get it ranked actually top 5. But if you have a product and it has like, let's say 50,000 volume, I'm seeing like you can come to page 1 in like couple of months with doing some tweaks and stuff. So coming back to my main question, what's your SEO sauce when it comes to like e-com, SEO, and you want quick wins for the client? Like what's your approach?
Well, like I said before, we pretty much have this full audit that we start with, and it consists of like 285 quick wins for SEO side of things and about 60 conversion rate optimization quick wins as well. And literally every single thing in there is just focused around getting the results as soon as possible, right? So like secret sauce, I wouldn't say that there's one thing that, wow, we do want this one thing and that's our secret. There's really no secret. It's just doing everything and finding every single optimization that you can and just stacking these small wins over and over again, right? Because if you get 1% here, 1% there, and this compounds and you do like 285 quick wins, like you're gonna make quite a big difference, especially if you're working with a brand that already has, I don't know, DR60, DR70, 50,000 monthly traffic. I mean, you increase the traffic by just 10%, and it's already like a solid difference, right? So
I like how you do numbers. Were you like into mathematics by any chance when you were
I just love numbers. What can I say?
Okay. This much money here, this much money here, this money for my lifestyle. Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
But, yeah, man.
But yeah, it's no brainer, right?
That's why we do business, right?
Yeah,
we like numbers.
We like numbers. We like numbers. But yeah, no brainer. I think also like it comes down to the person who's doing SEO as well, because what I've realized is whatever you say to your audience who want to get experts into e-com SEO, you can give them all the spreadsheet, all the, like A to Z guide to e-com SEO. But there's this, like a SEO eye, like of Benjamin, that sees things and numbers and compounds and this and that. What would you say? Like, is it us SEOs? Do we just need to focus on the guides, or do we actually need to develop a SEO brain, or eyes, or just see things that most people can't see?
I mean, I would say that it's a mix of everything. So you especially need to understand your target audience who you're selling to, right? As an agency or as an SEO yourself. Like for me, I know that my target audience and like my clients are mainly e-commerce founders and business owners. They're very, 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 very busy developing new products, developing marketing strategies, developing creatives for their ads. They really don't have time to be changing H1 text, to be changing crawl budget optimization. Like they don't have time for that. So in terms of like what we're seeing and kind of the strategy that we put together, it's pretty simple. Like we have a checklist of things that work, and then of course we go into detail with every single site as well, because every site is going to be built differently, and there will be like one-off things that we find. But most of the time it's just gonna be the same thing over and over again. So the goal is like with a full audit mainly to just get the site into like perfect shape, to get the foundation in place, to leverage any assets that the site might already have. For example, we just had a site now, like it was like DR60 something, 63, 64, whatever it might be, with like 1.2 or 1.3K broken links. And like these are links from like PR publications. And it's like everything is going to 404 pages. So of course we're going to redirect all of that to relevant pages and recapture the link power. Yeah. So just these little things, right? Because the brands are so focused on scaling fast that they really don't have time to be dabbling into like broken links, and they just want to send traffic that converts to a landing page and fulfill the order for a customer and then go look for the next customer, right? So yeah, that would be kind of the answer to the question.
Yeah. And are these clients all on like Shopify or WordPress? Because I found like, for me, like going on to Shopify, if I want to do advanced changes, like I'm not that, like, okay, this plugin, this, that, like you do on WordPress. So what are these clients? What's their platforms?
Yeah, so I would say like 90% of the clients are on Shopify. Okay. The rest are on WooCommerce, WordPress. Like when I was first kind of starting out with Shopify and someone would ask me like, do you prefer WordPress? Do you prefer Shopify? I would say like, I prefer WordPress. But nowadays, man, I actually prefer Shopify because like, sure, like as an SEO, you need to learn how to do specific things and you need to learn how to optimize certain things because it's just, some things are a bit more complex than with WordPress. But just for the business owner, Shopify is a no-brainer. WordPress is just like WooCommerce is just such a struggle and pain in the ass sometimes, uploading products, inventory, and all of that.
Tell me about it.
I mean, you want to change a banner and it takes you 2 days to change a banner because it's so complicated, right? Yeah. Versus with Shopify, it's the same as, I don't know, editing a photo on Instagram, for example. It's very, very simple.
Okay. So you're suggesting, like now I'm also like a part of an e-com brand, to move to Shopify or test it and see what kind of results I can get. But is there going to be any SEO difference, like any advantage or disadvantage?
No, not really. There's no real advantage when it comes to SEO perspective. It's mainly like if someone asks me this question and they haven't started the brand already, I would suggest Shopify, because like as the brand gets bigger and if they're adding more products, it's going to be a lot of work to organize all of that in WordPress,
right.
Especially tracking inventory. And if like an online brand expands into pop-up shops across the world and they have their entire payment system integrated within Shopify,
yeah,
it's very simple and it runs well, versus like with WooCommerce WordPress, it's all going to be separate and you're going to need multiple solutions, right? So if you plan to go like really, really big with your store, you kind of want to think ahead, and Shopify just kind of solves a lot of problems.
Sweet. And how do I actually go on about transferring the WordPress? Let's say an e-com brand is on WordPress. How do I smoothly transfer to Shopify if I have to make that decision today?
Yeah, so I would say like just map out kind of the structure of the pages. Like don't migrate and don't redesign at the same time. That's like the biggest mistake, because redesign in itself usually causes problems for SEO. But so if you're going to be redesigning and migrating, that's for sure going to cause problems and you're going to drop in traffic. So when you're migrating, you want to do a one-to-one migration. You want to migrate the headings, the URL structure, the navigation menu, the kind of layouts of the pages. You want to make everything exactly the same like it was before. Sure, you're changing the backend to Shopify, but the front-end experience should be exactly the same. Google should think and feel that this is the same exact website that it was before. Because if you migrate everything one-to-one, you're pretty much at no risk at dropping in traffic.
Okay. I'll test it out. I'll test it out for my brand and I'll let you know how it goes. Maybe I'll just get a drop in traffic and I'll be like, Benjamin. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of your Facebook posts, brother. I have a special notification whenever Benjamin posts. I'm like, okay.
Look at this guy, number one fan.
So yeah, how do you not complicate content marketing?
Yeah, like I would say, like we get in so many of these like mini audit requests and like so many different stores that we work with, and it's literally the same thing over and over again. It's like, look, we have so many blog posts and we bought some links as well, but we're just not ranking. And then I'll open up their blog post and it's like top 10 trends for summer 2023, or it's outdated from 2021. I'm like, how the hell do you expect to rank with blog posts that are not targeting any keywords? Right. So that would be like number one mistake. Yeah, that would be like number one mistake. It's like they are usually like brand owners are treating SEO as if it were like social media, right? Because on social media you can throw up an article and as long as it catches like the attention of people, they will click and they'll read it. But with SEO, you actually need to target the keywords, of course. And you don't need to brainstorm ideas for SEO articles. You literally just analyze the data and compile the data and let people tell you what they want to read and then write about that, right? So that would be kind of one of the most common mistakes that I see brand owners make.
And internal linking? Are you doing any internal linking from the content pages?
Yeah. So, I mean, I can go into a bit of detail there, but essentially what we do, I'll just kind of break down the entire strategy. It might be a little bit difficult to understand. So if someone's listening to this might have to rewind because I don't have like the screen share to explain, but essentially what we do is we will find a root keyword. Let's say we're trying to rank for phone cases, and then we have phone case, and all the variations of the phone case keyword. We will enter that into Ahrefs. We will go under matching terms, and matching terms, what it will do, it will display every single keyword that has phone case, and other variations inside of the keyword. Usually we will end up with about 100 or 200,000 keywords. We will export all of those keywords and we will remove anything that's irrelevant. So we will remove competitor names, like competitor products, anything like that, anything that we cannot write an article about or anything that we cannot turn into a product page or a collection page. Then we will use a clustering tool. And what a clustering tool will do, it will just go through, for example, 2 different keywords, and it will tell us, should these 2 keywords be included in the same article or do we need a separate article? This solves a lot of cannibalization problems and anything like that. And after that, we will just organize all of these articles into something called silos. So a silo is essentially just a group of articles that are in some way relevant to each other, that have some sort of topical relevancy. So for example, if you're writing an article on, if we have articles on like iPhone cases, we will have like best cases for iPhone 14, 13 Pro, 13, whatever it might be. And that's going to be like one silo. It's going to be the silo on best iPhone cases. And then we will interlink all of these articles together, which means that every article in the same silo will link to all of the other articles in this same group of articles or silo. And at the same time, we will also link to all of the money pages. So all of our collection pages, product pages, that obviously have iPhone cases, because that's going to be relevant, and it's going to push a lot of topical relevancy that we will establish through this silo directly to the money pages as well.
Wow. I might replay this when the episode's out, and I'll send it to my team.
Need to replay this, yeah.
2 or 3 times. Beautiful. And let's come to the main part. Backlinks. Yeah. What's the strategy that we're going for?
Yeah.
Backlinks?
So for backlinks, it really depends on the client. It's like personally for my own projects, I don't really mind going gray hat. I'm just going to be perfectly honest here. For clients, if a client is okay with using niche edits, PBNs, everything like that, we will use it. It's no problem. Some clients prefer using guest posts. So guest posts, niche edits, and everything like that. So we can also use those. So I won't speak from the client perspective and what we're doing there typically, because it's case by case, but I'll speak about what I do for my own projects that I have. So I would say like I'm a very big fan of course, niche edits, PBNs, and 301s. Those three have worked the best for me, because what I'm looking at is not necessarily like, wow, how fancy this site looks, or like what's the DR or anything like that. What I'm looking at is like, how much am I getting in return for the money that I spend? So PBNs, niche edits, and 301 redirects are just the best in terms of how much you get out of them. Because what's like a typical guest post will cost you probably $150 to $200 if it's like a good one. Like PBN, I don't know, $10, $20 per link, something like that on average. Niche edit, $50 on average. And 301, of course, you have a big range, but I would say for like $1,000, you can get a very strong domain that will really power up a site well. So just if we're looking at niche edits, PBNs, 301s, in my opinion, those are the best for the budget. And there are like a few different strategies that you can use for each. But I would say based on the ROI perspective, it really doesn't make sense to use guest posts to pay like very expensive PR firms to get you links and all these, because if you're just doing it for the SEO perspective, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Sweet. And the 301s, like I've tested in my strategies, I'll do the 301 and it's always like a hit or a miss. Is it for you as well?
I mean, you just really have to nail you have to pick a very good domain and you have to redirect it properly. So kind of the process that we use and that I've used in the past, and also I spoke to a friend of mine, he uses it quite successfully as well. What we essentially do is like, you need to figure out what the domain ranked for in the past, and you need to have some sort of topical relevancy there. Topical relevancy these days, when it comes to not only content, but links as well, is the most important part. So if you're trying to rank for phone cases, if the other domain was anything phone related, it's going to be a good fit. So after that, what we typically do, like we will redirect either from that domain directly to another collection. So for example, if we have like a phone cases collection, that would work quite well. But what we sometimes also do is we will just create essentially a fake PR page, right? What we will do is we'll create a blog post, we'll create an article talking about this other domain, what it used to be, and that we essentially acquired it, and that it's now part of our kind of domain portfolio. And we will just redirect the domain to that PR page. So we're doing a 301. And on that PR page, we'll essentially insert the links to all of our most important money pages. So all of our collections, all of our product pages, and kind of include them in the article. On top of that, of course, the domain will get power in general because the menu is linking to the homepage and so on and so on. So that's kind of the strategy that we use.
That's very cheeky. And you'd say like the 301 redirects, are they going into the homepage more or the inner page more? Like what's the ratio?
I don't really have specific ratios for that. It's just going to be how relevant is it. Like it's going to be very rare to find the domain specifically on phone cases to just redirect it to like a collection page or something like that. So it's just based off of relevancy. If we have a super relevant domain to one of our collections or products or blogs, we can just redirect it there. If it's not relevant, if it's, relevant in some way to the entire domain, but not specific page, we will just not redirect it to the homepage, but just redirect it to that PR page. Not the biggest fan of redirecting straight to the homepage because it just doesn't seem like supernatural. Like if you have a bunch of those, we will just kind of get an idea that something shady is going on. But you can just look at the big brands as well, right? When a big brand acquires another domain or another brand, because what we're trying to do with this process is we're trying to mimic an acquisition. We're trying to mimic that we acquire this business, even though like we're just buying the domain. Right. So what big brands will do and big companies will do, they'll acquire a business, they'll create a press release, and usually they'll just redirect the domain there, right? And it works exactly the same. And in my opinion, it's a bit more legit.
So maybe that's why my 301 strategy was not working, because I was only doing homepage redirects. I'll just test it out.
Well, all you had to do was jump on a podcast with me now,
Yeah. So Topical Authority, how are we playing with that?
So like I mentioned before, that entire process of exporting like a bunch of keywords, that's pretty much what Topical Authority is. So to just briefly explain Topical Authority, if you're trying to rank, let's just continue with the phone cases. If you're trying to rank for phone cases, Google is going to need to know that you're the expert in that topic, in that field. And Google is only going to give you the rankings for the money keywords if you prove that you're the expert in that field. And how do you prove that you're an expert? Well, two ways. First off, through content, you need to cover the topic in full, right? So you need to cover all of the frequently asked questions, all of the kind of common topics and questions about the phone cases, kind of keywords. And second, through links, right? So relevancy once again. So you need to be getting trust signals or links from other websites that also talk about phone cases, technology, phones, and that can be through guest posts, niche edits, PBNs, 301s, whatever it might be.
Nice. I'm going to read you a quote I saw in one of your posts.
Yeah.
I think you know which one I'm going to read. But yeah, don't hire okay SEOs who are good marketers. Hire good SEOs who are okay marketers. It really struck with me, bro. If you can explain it to your audience, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so like I would say that SEO is much more difficult to teach someone than marketing. Like marketing is pretty simple because you just and I'm not trying to like bash marketers. Like I would call myself first a marketer and then an SEO. But marketing in essence is pretty simple, at least digital marketing. All that you need is traffic and relevant audience, an offer that solves the pain point and problem of the audience, and then essentially that's pretty much it. Obviously, you need a way to convert them. You need an offer and everything like that. But it's not really that difficult to teach someone. Essentially, there are like 2 or 3 main parts to marketing. The philosophy of it. When it comes to SEO, and when it comes to all of the knowledge out there about SEO, all of the strategies and the fact that SEO is changing day to day and that someone on the internet is going to be screaming about a different strategy every single day, that's the difficult part. Yeah. You can easily get frustrated, confused. You always have to be testing and you always have to be kind of in the know when it comes to SEO. Marketing principles are fundamentals that don't really change, but SEO is always changing, always evolving, and you need to be you need to be a certain kind of person to really master SEO. Because it can get quite frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I have the same perception as well. Like I see the best SEOs are mostly like underground. Like you wouldn't discover them, or they wouldn't be like, hey, I'm an SEO. They're just like in their mom's basement doing their links, doing their content, big structures, big teams, and yeah, you might find 100%. Them like here and there. They just go into coffee shops and you're like, oh, you're a big SEO tycoon.
100%.
What's your website? Like, I don't have a website. What do you work on? A lot of big projects. But where can I find you? Nowhere. you know?
What niche do you work on? Niche? Why are you asking about my niche? Shut up.
Yeah.
No, this time.
I'm not supposed to talk about my niche, or I'll send you the NDA before we talk about niche.
But yeah, man, it reminded me, was in Phuket for like 2 months in November and December. Like there's a pretty solid community of SEOs there. And it's like so hilarious because like on like in the communities, in the Facebook groups, everyone's like, I'm white hat, I'm only doing like these links and AI content, I'm scared. Like everyone's just like, I don't know, like you can't even find any good data and like any good strategies that actually work. Not that I'm super black hat, but I kind of want to be in the know both for white hat and black hat, right? But then you go to, I don't know, to a meetup, like in real life meetup or a conference, and then suddenly you have all of these like black hat SEOs come up, and then
so many of them.
Yeah,
so many of them.
And then you're like, wow, and this is kind of what I'm trying to do with the content. I'm not trying to be like the next, I don't know, Neil Patel or something that's just white hat. I'm trying to bring all of the options on the table and then let the audience choose, right? My audience choose, my clients choose what they want. Okay, there's this, there's really no risk with that. Okay, if you want to go with this, that's fine. You have another strategy, you're going to get results much faster. There is a slight risk with this. Probably nothing's going to happen, but just to keep in mind, I present all of the options in terms of the ROI, and then they can kind of go from there.
Sweet. And coming to SEO versus PPC, like let's say you get a client and he's doing a lot of PPC and he's like, okay, Benjamin, this is my site. I want to try SEO. I have the budget. Let's do something. You get him results. Would you say that client would just lower the PPC budget and invest more in SEO, or just be similar? What have you seen in your experience, and what are the advantages of SEO over PPC and PPC over SEO?
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, like if a client asked me that question, I would seriously start doubting their marketing expertise, right? Yeah. Because as long as you have an ad, like as long as you have a sales channel that's performing, even if you add another channel, like why would you get rid of the first channel? Yeah. So the goal is obviously to keep on stacking more and more profitable sales channels so that you can diversify and in case something goes wrong, you have other channels to kind of back you up. So yeah, in terms of like the advantages of SEO versus PPC, so I would say organic traffic for sure converts higher than PPC, but SEO takes a while, right? PPC, you can get results instantly and you can usually get very, very good results. But the conversion rate is not going to be as good. And of course, you're going to be paying a fat check to Google or Facebook every single month. For sure. So, yeah.
Sweet. I mean, I kind of trying to play with both SEO and PPC, and I'm like, like in a sense, SEO is more rewarding long term, but also like if you add a bit of a PPC on it, like it just makes a perfect equation for the conversions and the clicks and the traffic you're going to get. And you can, and being a better marketer or a better brand, you have to have your legs in both arenas, you know? And I think that's a good strategy.
Yeah. And I would also say, like, I know that like this is like in the SEO community, this is going to be called a myth, especially on LinkedIn. It would really piss some people off if I said what I'm going to say now. But in my opinion, 100% you're going to get a boost in SEO if you're running PPC on Google. 100%. There's no doubt, because I have seen literally so many brands that get a boost in SEO after they start running PPC that it's literally insane. Like every single time, if they're running both, they're going to be getting better results on SEO. So I don't really know why it works that way. Possibly just because of improved like trust signals from Google, because obviously a fake brand is not going to be running ads if they were just trying to game the system with SEO. I think that's the main reason. But yeah, just want to kind of share that, because I know that everyone gets kind of like PPC doesn't change anything with SEO. I'm like, it does. Like I've seen it so many times. It clearly does.
So, Benjamin, how do you vet these clients? What are your big no's to e-commerce clients when you have these meetings and you're sussing out their brand?
Yeah, we judge clients on like a few different kind of factors, and the main reason why we judge clients and we actually kind of vet the clients before they join is because I don't want to have a volume-based agency. I don't want to be serving 200, 300 clients. I want to keep things kind of limited, preferably under 30 clients, and really give it my all to those clients. That's the first reason. In terms of how we vet clients, it's just mainly in terms of the growth opportunity. I want to exclusively work with clients, and I want to have open capacity for other clients that are a very good fit. And typically a very good fit is going to be like established 1 or 2 sales channels, so Google or Facebook, but maybe no focus done on SEO or any of the like other channels. And of course, like high ticket products. That's going to be another very good signal for us. And then also just competition, right? So how much they need to invest and what kind of ROI I want to get them. Of course, I'm kind of looking out for myself here as well. I want to keep crushing it with case studies. The better case studies that I put out, the better clients I end up attracting. So that's kind of the main reason why we're super picky with the clients that we actually take on. The main thing that I look at, just to summarize, is how much do they need to invest and how much I can make them back approximately. The higher that is, the better, and the better the fit the client.
Nice. What I see from your approach of what you've told me is like you being very picky and you choosing the ones you really, really want to work with. So I feel like in that scenario, there's going to be very less clients who are going to, give you stress, or they're going to be pissed off because they're the lucky ones to be working with you, no?
That's to be honest the main reason why I don't want stress. If I wanted stress, I would go work in a 9-to-5 job with a terrible boss. I want to enjoy what I'm doing, and I want the other person to also not only respect me, but to kind of really consider everything that I'm saying, right? I don't want someone on the call where I'm suggesting, okay, you have option 1 and option 2. You should consider between these 2 options. And then they're trying to combine these 2 options together, or trying to convince me that they have a better idea. I'm like, no, you don't have a better idea. Yeah. From all my expertise, and this is why you're paying me, you should pick between option A and option B. And then I can move forward and I can actually do my job, which is why you hired me for, right? I mean, why did you hire me in the first place if you're trying to then have your be super involved and kind of navigate the strategy, right? It just doesn't make sense. If you want to navigate the strategy, then you're better off just building an in-house team. And that's kind of the main thing that I'm trying to avoid, and the main reason why we have this vetting process in place to make sure that the client is a good fit.
I like that. And what's your SEO routine looking on a daily basis? Are you traveling? Are you staying at one place? What's the routine when you wake up?
Yeah. I would say it was quite funny because a few days ago I saw this LinkedIn post about some entrepreneur posted how they used to wake up at 5 a.m., cold shower, meditation, gym, and this entire to-do list of things before they even wake up. And that used to be me for 2 or 3 years, to be honest, when I was really, really focused, and it worked, but it just put so much unnecessary stress. And stress is the limiter of creativity, right? The more stress that you have, sure, you're going to get more work done, but will you get the work done in the creative way? I noticed that not really. So these days, I don't know, I wake up usually around 8 a.m. Just kind of relax a little bit, get the day started. I try not to check my phone. And I have a to-do list ready from the night before. So in the evening when I stop working, I'll prepare a to-do list for the next day. So no phone in the morning, get some breakfast, jump in the shower, and then just pretty much get to work. I'll usually work for 3 to 4 hours in the morning, take a little break around noon, maybe go for a walk, chill out a little bit, relax once again, just to avoid that stress. Then, in the first kind of half of the day, I'll be mainly working on deep work. So the main reason why I'm not turning on my phone is because I don't want to overwhelm my brain with all the dopamine, right? Because the more dopamine you have, the more you want to chase it, right? So I focus on very kind of on SOPs, on hiring, on deep level tasks that really move the needle forward when it comes to business development, and business strategy and so on. Then in the afternoon, usually I'll be doing calls. So client calls, team calls, emails, just communication. But because the first 3 or 4 hours of the day, if you're not turning on your phone, are going to be the creative hours. You're going to have like the momentum, and you're going to be able to move things forward that really make a difference in the long term. And like I would actually challenge anyone, and anyone on this call, on this podcast, to like turn off your phone and don't check it, and just jump into things that actually move the needle. Even if you just sit down for 1 hour per day and just do work on one task, that, I mean, over the course of the year, that's going to make such a big difference to your life that you literally won't believe it. So yeah, like in the afternoon I'll do some calls, emails, usually wrap up at around 6-7 p.m., go hit a workout. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Chill out a little bit in the evening, and that's it.
Sweet.
Weekends I usually take off. Yeah.
I like it. I do something similar as well. I do all the important stuff in the morning. I switch in a bit of a meditation, a bit of a cold plunge, but then I'm going emails, then and I'm not checking my phone. And I realize when I check my phone, my dopamine, my motivation is just drops so much, and I'm like being lazy for all day. So I think this is a very key point you mentioned, not to check the phone for the first few hours in the morning. So when are you checking the rankings? Like during what time?
Usually I don't even check them, to be honest. I just check them like
6 months later, 10x.
I check them once a month. I check them once a month because like I don't want to be obsessed about the rankings, because rankings are just like rankings, emails. It's just dopamine. It's like once again dopamine, especially if you're like, wow, I just got this epic graph. We're up so much in traffic. I'm like, yeah, we're up in traffic, but we're up in traffic pretty much every other day, right? So why would I just be constantly obsessing about how much we're up in traffic if I have other work to do, right? Why would I be getting excited?
I have this habit. I check rankings like twice a day for all the projects, most clients, like important ones. I need to stop it. I think once a month would be a challenge, but I can get there.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily once a month, but I would say like my team is more in charge of checking the rankings, right? So they're in charge of following the process, following the trends, the day-to-day stuff. I want to make sure that our processes are dialed in, and the processes are what actually cause the rankings to go up, right? It doesn't really help if I'm checking the rankings. Sure, I'm going to be happy that I'm checking the rankings, but if I want to keep getting these rankings and if I want to keep driving more and more traffic, I need to work on the process side of things.
Sweet. And yeah, coming back to GoldenWeb, I think you covered so many golden nuggets in this podcast that I'll definitely rewatch and implement on my own strategies as well. So thank you, Benjamin. So what's your vision for GoldenWeb in the coming years? What can people expect from you?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm just in the process of bringing on like COO, like head of operations. I'm still quite involved in the operations, a bit more than I'd like, to be honest. I want to focus on strategy, most important out of everything, and of course marketing as well. I'm a very big fan of marketing, and I want to really build up GoldenWeb into a very big brand. In terms of the vision, I could say that like to become the number one Shopify SEO agency, but then again, like how do you judge that? Because in some circles we already are that, in some we aren't. So it's a bit of a tricky goal. What I want is to just kind of keep growing, not only myself, but also allow and enable my team to grow. It's very fulfilling not only to deliver the results for the client, but also to see how my team how they grew in the last few years that they've been working with me. So that's also very fulfilling. So other than that, just to continue optimizing and continue crushing the SERPs.
Beautiful, man. Thanks a lot for coming in this podcast. And on a final note, where can people find you?
So Benjamin Golden on Facebook, on LinkedIn. If you have something that you want to get in touch with, you can also just go on goldenweb.net. We have we offer free mini audits to see if you're the good type of client. And you can find the email there as well. It's benjamin@goldenweb.net if you have any other questions.
Awesome, Benjamin. It's been lovely talking to you. I'll see you soon, brother.
See you soon. Thanks for having me on.